Klaatu, Barata. Did I do it right?
I mean, you did it right as in you did it wrong, like Ash.
So it was terrible.
Yeah. No,
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick
terrible.
Scarpino. This is Eric Goldman. And of course, we are talking about the new Evil Dead series that is coming to Starz.
Yes.
When is it coming to Starz?
They said 2015, so sometime next year, I'm guessing. Maybe next fall, around Halloween time, if I were a betting man. Yeah.
It's a futuristic show for a futuristic set. Like we're sitting at right now. It's
Yeah,
actually not a
exactly.
futuristic show at all. It's probably set in the normal time span of Army of Darkness world. But thanks to Sony, we have this beautiful new set, and you can enjoy it with us. But yeah, tell me more. This is obviously starring someone new, right? This is not going to be starring the Bruce Campbell that I know and love.
Aha! But it is starring Bruce Campbell. I mean, I love that the show is called Ash versus Evil Dead. They really must have picked that title just completely for the fans to be like, don't worry, this is Ash, you know? And so yeah, Bruce Campbell is the star of this show. He is 100% back. And
so we've got Bruce.
Ash.
We've basically got the creative team
back.
from back in the day. We've got Sam Raimi. He's stepping in to executive produce, and he's directing the first episode.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Rob Tappert, who's been their producing partner since the first movie's producing it.
This is crazy. How did this whole thing come about? Do we know?
I mean, you know, we heard there was rumblings for so long when the Evil Dead reboot, however you want to call it, reimagining came out. There was talk. Campbell was like, hey, there might be a sequel to this, and we might do Evil Dead 4, or whatever you want to call it, a follow-up with Ash. Maybe we do a crossover. But there was so much talk that you're like, is any of this going to happen? It starts to become the Dan Aykroyd talking about Ghostbusters 3 thing.
Which
where
becomes a thing.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know. But you know, the thing is, they announced this TV show last summer at San Diego Comic-Con. Raimi even came out on stage and talked about it. But it still feels way more real now that Starz has put out the press release saying, hey, we ordered this, 10 episodes. We're in. Because last summer there was still no network involved. It still felt like it could fall apart.
Right, and Starz is no joke right now, right?
No,
they are diving headfirst. They have been for a long time diving headfirst in the original programming.
And actually, you know, Spartacus was kind of their signature show, and I think the one that really gave them a lot of attention. Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert were executive producers on that. So this really makes a lot of sense that it would end up at Starz, kind of feels right. And it's really cool because it means content-wise, there's no limitations. If you've seen Spartacus and other shows on Starz, you know, they do not hold back in the violence and gore aspect.
Or the sexual nature
Or the sexual nature.
Which I can't see playing too heavily into the Evil Dead series.
Not that much.
But you never know. You might want to season or pepper that in, as they say.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Bruce Campbell? Let's cut down to, no one's watching. let's pretend there's no audience in front of us. Let's cut down to brass tacks. I have seen Burn Notice. I was a huge fan of that show. That felt like ages ago, and he even felt a little bit older in that show. But it still has the swagger. Does he have the sway?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think it can totally work. Yeah, he is not young Bruce Campbell.
He's not that Bruce Campbell.
He's not Bruce Campbell. He's not Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, like ripped Bruce Campbell, certainly. Yeah, when they did the Sam Axe TV movie, he had to get back in somewhat shape. He wasn't like completely fit, but he lost, you know, a good amount of weight when he needed to. But I will say, I think like an older, pudgier Ash completely works.
You think it can work?
It doesn't have to be like, you know, when Schwarzenegger or Bruce Willis plays their old action character and they have to like,
steroided out.
Right.
So you don't think he's going to use roids for this?
I think he can be like, you know, Ash who's let himself go, and the character and his performance is still so funny and beloved that it can completely work to have Ash, who are you kidding, Ash, you know, try to go into battle looking all badass and not looking it, but he's still going to be Ash, he's still going to be awesome.
Is he still going to have the chainsaw hand?
You know, again,
how are they going to do a whole show with it with the chainsaw hand?
It's a sequel show, which is amazing. We're in this crazy world where we're getting sequel shows to Twin Peaks and Evil Dead. So look, he already had
he had the mechanical hand.
I'm guessing we're going to pick up, and he's got an even better mechanical hand. So
that looks humanoid?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell doesn't have to wear too much. But I also bet that when time calls for it, say a few episodes in, he can change that up for a chainsaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
So final question for you. Do we feel like this is finally the Game of Thrones killer?
The Game of Thrones killer. I wouldn't call it that, but I'm really excited for this. Like, I always thought that, I know there's some things that are a little like precious and don't try to do that, but the idea of doing another Evil Dead story this long after just sounds fun and funny.
It's interesting, right?
Right.
Because like, what are they going to do with this?
Because it's such a funny series.
It's like 300 years in the making.
300 years in the making. The fact that it's a TV show is actually kind of cool and exciting and different, and I think is a good idea rather than Evil Dead 4. So yeah, we'll see. Ash versus Evil Dead, I'm all in.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Probably not first.
But we're talking about it.
But we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Keep it locked here for all your Evil Dead news right on IGN.
Hail to the king, baby.